Chærete friends, welcome to Classics in Color, your weekly dive into some of the ancient world's wackiest facts. I'm Mark Graves, and today we're talking about human sacrifice. Let's have some fun. Most Romans considered human sacrifice to be taboo, crazy, immoral, something only barbarian foreigners did. And yet, occasionally, when the going got really tough and they were having a bad day, they would, shall we say, make some decisions that they weren't super proud of and committed a little human sacrifice on accident. So what I've done for this video is I've collected all the stories about this that I could find and recruited some help from Patreon to help read some of these quotes. Our first quote comes from the Roman historian Livy, and it is talking about post the Battle of Cannae. So the Battle of Cannae was this big, dramatic battle with the Carthaginians that the Romans lost horrifically, and one can imagine that the day after this battle, they weren't in the best state of mind.
In the meantime, by the direction of the books of fate, some unusual sacrifices were offered. Amongst others, a Gaulish man and woman and a Greek man and woman were buried alive in the cattle market, in a place walled in with stone, which, even before this time, had been defiled with human victims, a sacrifice wholly alien to the Roman spirit.
Our next quote comes from Plutarch, who's a Greek historian, and the story or the context for this is about a Vestal Virgin. So the Vestal Virgins are very important priestesses for Rome. They're important to Rome's psyche. They're supposed to guard the eternal flame, and they're supposed to stay virgins. They're not supposed to have sex with anyone, and it's a very big deal, a very big violation if they do. So when one day the Romans find a Vestal Virgin who's been struck by lightning, not a good sign, but she's also been left in this weird, contorted kind of sexual position, and that just really creeps the Romans out. And then they start hearing all of these rumors about these other Vestal Virgins who apparently aren't virgins anymore. They've been having sex, and they have sort of a moral panic, and bad decisions follow.
He gave information against 3 Vestal Virgins, Aemilia, Lacinia, and Marcia, that they had all been corrupted at about the same time, and that they had long entertained lovers. The Vestals, accordingly, were convicted and punished, but, since the deed was plainly atrocious, it was resolved that the priests should consult the Sibylline books. They say that oracles were found foretelling that these events would come to pass for the bane of the Romans, and, enjoining on them that, to avert the impending disaster, they should offer a sacrifice to certain strange and alien spirits, 2 Greeks and 2 Gauls, buried alive on the spot.
Finally, our last quote comes from Suetonius, who is a Roman historian who wrote some very salacious biographies of some of Rome's first emperors. And this passage is about Augustus, so Rome's very first ever emperor, who also happened to be the heir of Julius Caesar.
After the capture of Perugia, he took vengeance on many, meeting all attempts to beg for pardon or to make excuses with the one reply, "You must die." Some write that 300 men of both orders were selected from the prisoners of war and sacrificed on the Ides of March, like so many victims at the altar raised to the deified Julius.
Thank you so much for checking out this video, and special thank you to Patreon for helping me out with this. I hope to see all of you again next week. Chærete.